Okay, first I want to show you the piece that Gloria stitched for me. Isn't this beautiful? This is my happy place. This is going to be framed and put in my sewing room. I think it's absolutely beautiful. I love the colors. They're me. They're so me. And the fabric is absolutely beautiful. Glow, thank you so much. I couldn't have done it better myself. And I love the buttons. Look, there's a butterfly on that one. There's a tree on this one. Look at those summer colors that pulls everything together. Just love it. And now I'll slide over and show you the one I stitched for Gloria. This is on a beautiful piece of fabric that is hand dyed. It's a light base with a little bit of pink in it. And then I had used a variegated silk for the lettering and pulled the colors out of that for my threads. These are my mother's vintage buttons, all of them. So I hope Gloria likes it. I'll pull back and let you see the two of them side by side. I think they're both beautiful. Glow, I hope you love it. I'm not going to put this up until after I mail it to you and know you've gifted it, but I wanted to record it while I had both of these here. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Dina and this is my channel about my cross stitching. And I have an update for you today. It's a very special update because it's been coming for quite a while. I have finished, and it shouldn't surprise too many of you. It's my Seaside Kingdom from Mirabilia. Only mine doesn't look like this. I was fortunate enough to find a hand-painted fabric called Desert Twilight, and it is by sunnydyesfabrics.com. I haven't checked to see if they still have it, but I have given the name of it to several people and I haven't heard back from them. So hopefully it's still there. But I finished it today, and today is the 25th of November. I had hoped to have this finished by the end of October, and because we got a new puppy, I didn't make that finish, and I went ahead and finished my piece I had slotted to finish in November, and then thought, well, I just might have enough time to do the rest of this one by the end of the year. I actually took this on retreat with me, and I spent an entire day at retreat stitching on this piece. I actually put 10 hours of stitching into it over that weekend. So that really pushed me toward a finish. I finally finished cross stitching all of it, of the cross stitching part of it at retreat. And all I had left was the beading, which I've been doing now. This is my 4th day. I don't get to stitch as much as I used to because I have a new family member and my little pet, but I still finished it before the end of the month. So I am really, really happy. So I want to share it with you. This is my Seaside Kingdom. Now, I know you're far away, so you can see the whole thing. But I really love the way the castle sits against that dark blue sky. I just think it's gorgeous. Now I'm going to turn the camera around and give you a good close-up and tell you some things about this piece that happened to me as I was stitching it, because I think that's some of the fun in it. Hang on one second, I'll turn you around. Okay, here is Seaside Kingdom. This is the full picture here. I plan on framing it probably about out to here. I don't intend to have quite this much space on each side as I have in the middle of the fabric. So let me tell you just a little bit about this. There are quite a few treasures in here. However, I made some changes when I changed this fabric. So I had to change a little bit about the treasures as well. First of all, The castle was supposed to have a beautiful light blue bead up here on the green vine, and you couldn't see it. You just couldn't see it. So I changed and put gold beads there. And these are the blue beads that were supposed to be in the air. You can see the reason they show up here is because they're against that gold mostly. But as you can see over here in the blue, they don't show up very well. The other thing that I changed is there were 2 seashells called for in the treasures, and they were going to be used in the corners of the pattern. Here and here. I didn't need this border, so I didn't use it. So I had these 2 seashells and wasn't quite sure if I was going to just hang on to them for another project, but because this is at the seashore, I wanted to use them. So I put one here at the top of this spiral, or top of this pole, and I put another one up here. So I incorporated those in my piece. The other treasures I put where they were called for. The leaves that you see here that are supposed to mimic these leaves going around here. Of course, the star is here. And the flowers here. And here. I just love it. I think it's beautiful. So pretty, the light blue showed up here. I think this is supposed to be like sea glass that's in the sand because it appears here, and it looks like they purposely put it here and here as they were decorating their castle. There's a lot of beads in here. A lot of beads. But I think it's just lovely. These pink beads, this little girl's dress was supposed to be blue, just like the little boys, but I didn't like it in blue, especially with these bright, beautiful, hot pink beads around her apron. So I used that color as my inspiration for her dress. And you'll notice it's in the castle here, and it's in the castle here as well. Those bright beads and around her hair. So I'm really glad I was able to pull the pink out for her dress. And I'm very happy that I did a more vibrant blue on the little boy's swimsuit, because I think it shows up better against the sky than it would have otherwise. But there you have it. That's Seaside Kingdom. I did have to fill in the sandcastle, and I'm very proud of myself. There was only one spot on the castle that I didn't realize I needed to fill it in until I had finished everything, including the beading. And it was a couple of little stitches right in here. And I couldn't tell really when I was stitching it exactly where all the beads and everything were going to wind up. So I had to go back and fill in 3 stitches for fill in, and that was all. So I'm really happy with that. There were 2 colors of Krynic in here. And the gold Krynic is in here several times. In the windows, around the door. And in one of the swirls, here's Krynic. But the green Krynic is used only once. And it's up here. So if you're trying to save a little money and you want to stitch this, I think that you can eliminate the green Krynic, and you could just use a bright green floss for that. I hope that's helpful for you. Anyway, I'm thrilled with my finish. I haven't even ironed it yet, as you can tell, but I'm very, very happy to have this one completed and out of my whip pile. And I won't have to carry it forward into next year. So very happy about that. Thanks for letting me share my finish with you. Hope you're enjoying your stitching. Until we talk again, happy stitching, everyone. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel about cross stitch. This is Dina, and today is Wednesday and it is the 27th of November. I have been busy. For the last 2 days I have finished my homework for School of Magical Stitches, and I wanted to share that with you. And I'm sorry for the sun across here, but I'm hoping that I can get through before it gets across my face. This week on the School of Magical Stitches, we were to stitch on up to 3 projects, depending on how many whips you had going, and I had over 3, so 3 was the number for me. And you were to put in 100 stitches on each of those 3 whips as a symbol of you taking care of the Horcruxes. When you had a Horcrux in your possession, you weren't supposed to hold on to it or wear it for very long, because if the longer you wore it, the more it would affect you. So we were only to do 100 stitches and move on. But at the end, if we wanted to get extra points for our team, we could go back to one of those whips and stitch extra. So I did my 3 whips, 100 stitches at least on each one, and I'll tell you what I did and why on each one. And then I went back to the first one and I put in extra stitches. So initially I did 112 stitches and I posted that for homework. And then when I went back, I worked on this piece. I did 749 additional stitches. So I actually, hopefully, got at least 7 points extra for my team. But it was Jumpin' Jack Frost. And there is a reason that I went back and did that number of stitches, because I wanted to finish the pumpkin. And I did. And that's what it took. It took the initial 112 stitches and then the remaining 749 to finish the pumpkin. So now what I have left are leaves here and a small border at the bottom. And I'll have this one finished. So that shouldn't take me too long to knock that one out next year. So I'm very pleased with where I'm leaving that. So I'm going to sit up, see if I can get the sun off my face. Who knows, it's moving a bit. The second piece that I worked on, you'll recognize, I think, and it is a Mill Hill kit, and it's for my friend Cheryl, and I want to try to finish it by Christmas. So this is the piece, and all of this is beaded, almost all of it. The only thing that's not beaded is their skin out of the dolls, and then this is stitched here. But I wanted to get 100 stitches in it, and I did. I actually got in 212. And the reason that 225. And the reason it took me that long to do is because I had set another goal. I think I mentioned in my last video that I had missed goal stitching, and so my goal was to finish the border. And so I just went ahead and did that. And it took 225 stitches to do it. But that's okay, it's finished. And the third one I did was also for the same friend. It's going to be for Christmas a year from now. And it is The Friends by Bob Timberlake. And I wound up stitching 160 stitches in this piece simply to let my thread run out, because I started on one of these green leaves in here, and it's a tweeted color. And so once I had it tweeted, and I ran out of the first thread and it wasn't enough stitches, so I started another tweeted thread, and that length didn't run out until I got to 160 stitches, but at least I knew I had enough. And so that's what I did. I just worked over in the leaves right here, and I also did all of the red berries as part of my 160 stitches. So, and I wound up doing one tiny line of light brown in the door as well. So I'm just marching over to the other side, which is about right there. So that's where I'm at on my full coverage. And that completes my homework for the week. I'm very excited to have that done by Wednesday, which is wonderful. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving. If you celebrate, happy Thanksgiving. and I'm already got my menu planned and my food's thawing, and I'm getting ready to cook that for dinner tomorrow night because my husband's running a half marathon in the morning, and I don't want him to be rushed to get back home. I want him to enjoy himself, get to do his run, stop and get something to eat because he'll be starved, and not have to wait till he drives all the way back home, you know, to have lunch. So, how about plans for December? I want to share that with you in case you want to join me in any of it. Number one, I have a New Year, New Start planned, and it's my first Haid ever. And the name of it is A Real Snow Job. It's a beautiful piece, and I'll be starting it New Year's Eve, if at all possible, if not New Year's Day. And I'm just going to get a small start on it and put it away, because on December the 5th, there is a stitch along in one of the Facebook groups that I follow, and it is a full coverage on the 5th in 2019, and this will be the first time I've been able to participate in it. It's in Stitch Mania, by the way. So if you want to join me for that, please do. On the 15th is Work That Whip for Stitch Mania, and I intend to work one of my Christmas whips on that day. And then there's a Year of Starts for one of the groups as well. It's either Cross Stitch Finish Line or Stitch Mania. I can't remember which. But I had signed up to do that, and that's when I'm going to start my Crystal Christmas, which is my December start, the last start that I had pre-planned for 2019. And then on December 22nd, there is a sale that has been advertised by the Sunshine Stitchers from Florida, and it's for the Winter Quaker piece, and I just purchased that when I was at my retreat so that I could stitch it, and then realized it was the same one that they were going to do on a sale. So I'm going to start that for them to participate in that sale. Now there's another very important date to me in December, and that's December 14th, because that's my birthday. So December is my birthday month. I know that there have been several floss tubers who have issued invitations for us to do birthday stitch-alongs with them, and I've always tried to do that because it's so fun to honor you on your birthday month and stitch with you. So I'd like to invite anybody who wants to stitch with me in the month of December for my birthday. And my birthday is on the 14th, but you can stitch anytime you want and let me know that you're doing it for your birthday. And since Christmas is my very favorite season, if you do Christmas stitching, I would love for you to stitch on anything Christmas on my birthday or anytime around there, and just let me know that's when you were able to stitch for my birthday. And if you're not someone who celebrates Christmas, if you will pick your favorite holiday, whatever one it is, and just let me know that you're stitching that for my birthday. I am going to put out a hashtag, and it's just going to be hashtag half stitch BD Sal for half stitch birthday Sal. And would love for you to put your post under there in celebration with me of my birthday in the month of December. So just to recap, anything Christmas or anything on your favorite holiday, and just hashtag it half stitch BD Sal. And then I'll get to see all of you stitching with me for my birthday. We'll enjoy that. I hope some of you will join me. In the meantime, I hope you're enjoying your stitching. I don't know if I will have any more progress to show before December, but if I do, you'll be the first to know. Happy stitching, everyone. Bye-bye. Hello, everyone. This is Dina. Welcome back to my channel. Today is Friday. It is the 29th of November. It is almost December, and I am thrilled because I move into Christmas stitching only when I do that. Well, I decided to take the end of November after I finished my homework for School of Magical Stitches and see if I could just work on some whips that I know I won't be touching in the month of December because they're not Christmas. And one of the homework assignments was to stitch, 100 points in 3 different projects. And then if you go back and put extra points and extra stitches in one of them, you got points. And so I did that with a piece called Jumpin' Jack Frost. And that really pushed me into being closer to a finish than I realized. And so when I left off for School of Magical Stitches, I had these leaves left to do and this border. That was all. But there's a lot of leaves. A lot of individual leaves. A lot of color changes. So I decided Thanksgiving Day, while I was pre-cooking some of the vegetables or waiting to start dinner, because we decided to have dinner. Hey, because my husband ran a half marathon. You gonna let me pick you up? You want to come sit with me? No. Get your toys. Get your toys. No biting. No biting. We have a teething dog, and so she keeps wanting to gnaw on everything, including us. Here. Here's your toy. Gnaw on that. There you go. So we were gonna have supper rather than lunch because Coco, stop. You cannot gnaw on me. You can't gnaw on me. This is Coco. There's my baby. We call her Snaggletooth now because she's lost a tooth. And look how big she's getting. Look how big she's getting. She's growing, isn't she? See, I can hardly hold her in my lap anymore. There you go. Have a seat. Say hey. Say hey. Say hey to everybody. Say hey. You sweet girl. Okay, now let me get you a squiggy toy. As I was saying, sorry, my husband was running a half marathon Thanksgiving morning. So we decided we would have dinner Thanksgiving evening. And so I worked on my Jumpin' Jack Frost, and by the end of the day, on Thanksgiving Day, I had completed all of the leaves, and I had just barely started on the border, and it was time for me to go to bed. So this morning, I got up and I finished Jumpin' Jack Frost. So I want to share my finish with you. Here's that cute little boy diving into those leaves. Isn't that precious? I think the colors turned out really pretty and bright, much brighter than what I could print, on just my printer, because this was a PDF download. And I didn't have all of the called for threads. So I made several substitutions. And I will try to remember to post that in the comments below. But if you're interested in it, you can just email me or message me with a comment, and I'll be happy to share the conversion with you, because I just tried to match the colors as close as I could. I didn't have some of the fancy floss, so I used DMC and combinations of DMC. But I love the words, and I hope you can see that they are slightly variegated, and they are silk. And because this was just one of the silks that I had been gifted, and I wanted to use it, and I felt like it would make a beautiful lettering for this multicolored piece, and I think it turned out really, really pretty. So that's my Jumpin' Jack Frost. I wasn't expecting to finish this one this year at all. But when I saw how far I got by putting in those extra stitches for the School of Magical Stitching, I decided, I've got a few days just to stitch on anything that's not Christmas. I might as well stitch on this. And I finished it, so I'm really happy. This is my finish number 51 for the year. So it's a combination this year of large and small projects. I've finished quite a few large projects this year, so I'm really happy about that. And I'll do a wrap up at the end of the year and give you some stats about things like that if you're interested. But for now, I just thought I would come and share my finish with you. And I can't believe I have 2 finishes for this video, 2 fairly decent size finishes. and then I will start working on something new this afternoon. I hope you had a fabulous day yesterday. If you celebrated Thanksgiving, I hope you had a wonderful time with your family and friends. And if you were not in the United States or don't celebrate Thanksgiving, I just hope you're having a good week, that you're healthy and well. I'm finally beginning to get over my cold. I am sorry to say my son and husband both caught it, but they got very mild versions, and within a couple of days they were done. Mine is still hanging on. I did find out that one of the other attendees at the retreat went home with a cold as well, and actually went into sinus infection and had to go see the doctor. So I guess I could have been worse off than I was. Anyway, I hope that as you move into the holiday season, that you will enjoy the season, not get too stressed out by it, and really miss, what it's all about. We will definitely be focused on our music for our concert at church now. My husband and I have to finish memorizing everything, and we'll have a few more practices and then 5 performances. And so I'll definitely will be thinking around the true meaning of Christmas while I'm doing all of that. But that can be stressful. So whatever you do, just sit back and take a deep breath and enjoy the season. I'm going to let you get back to stitching. I'm going to go see what I want to start working on next. And happy stitching, everyone. Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Dina, and today is Saturday, and it is November 30th. Tomorrow is December 1st. I'm very excited. I actually have a couple of corrections I would like to make. First of all, I may have mentioned that I wanted to work in a sale on December the 5th that is full coverage, and it is just working on anything that is full coverage. And I think I had mentioned that I might work on my Haid, but I'm not starting my Haid piece until December 31st into January 1st for my New Year, New Start. So that one won't be ready. So my only full coverage I'm working on right now is Friends. And so on December 5th, I will probably pick that up and work on it a bit to participate in that sale. So that was a correction if I shared that with you. I don't know if I just put it in my planning or if I shared it with you. But I did want to correct that. And the second thing I need to correct, I may have said that I was going to participate in the Winter Quaker sale on December 22nd, and it's actually the 21st. Thank you, Melody, for letting me know that. I had heard about it at retreat, and I had heard the 22nd. Someone was just talking about it. I think they had just gotten the wrong date. And Melody actually told me that she had jotted that down on her calendar after hearing about it from the Sunshine Stitchers. So that date is the right date, and that's when I'll be working on it. So that's a second correction I wanted to make. Anyway, tomorrow starts my Christmas stitching. But so I went through all of my whips and all of my kitted up projects and partially kitted projects that are Christmas related, because I purchased a few things this year during the year since I've done some pre-planning, and I wanted to incorporate everything together and see what I had. And when I did, I found a small package that I had received from Stitch in May. And it was it's just a precious little quick stitch from Bent Creek called Little Christmas. And she had gotten this pattern as it had been shared with her from Connie G. And I was stitching with Connie and Megan at Megan's house when Megan was finishing it back this summer. And I said, that is really cute, I like it. And she said, good, do you want to stitch it next? And what they're doing is they're passing it. It's in this little pouch, and each person who stitches it puts their name on the list and forwards it to another person who said they would like to stitch it. And we're just going to keep letting it go to see how far it goes, you know, how many people want to stitch it. And so I've got a few phone calls to make tomorrow to find out if a couple people I think might like to stitch it would be interested. And the first one who says yes is who I'll send it to. But today I went into my fabric stash and I found a mystery linen that someone had gifted to me for smalls, and it fit perfectly. So this is my A Merry Little Christmas finish from today. Has variegated DMC here. It has long stitches here, but those are the only unique things to me that I felt like, you know, stuck out. It's a quick stitch. I did it today. I finished it in one day. I did stitch on it quite a bit, off and on during the day. But I think you could finish it in a day without too much trouble if you give it enough time. And at the very most, you know, you could do it in a couple of days, 2 or 3 days, and be done with it. So then you could pass it on. But I think this is really sweet, and I picked 28 count because I checked it on, did the calculations on how big it would be for 32 count or 28 count before I went looking for this little piece of fabric. And I did that because I have a little wooden frame that I've been holding on to that I bought years ago, a set of 3 or 4 together, that would be perfect for this size. So I'll be able to finish this and frame it pretty quickly and be able to sit it out for Christmas. So I just wanted to share that with you. And that is a great way for me to do what I call a palette cleanser between finishing these 2 large projects that I just finished, Seaside Kingdom and then my Jumpin' Jack Frost. I wanted to do something small after that, kind of rest, and then I can look at what I want to stitch for December, because December I'm going to stitch all Christmas, everything Christmas. So what a great way to be a precursor the night before and say, I'm going to go ahead and stitch this one first because I want to go ahead and forward it so whoever gets it next will be able to stitch it this Christmas and have it ready. So I'll be doing that. Now, I've been doing a little bit of planning for the month of December, but I haven't finalized everything yet. And I've decided that I'm not going to necessarily say I'm going to stitch on this on the 1st and this on the 2nd and this on the 3rd, because I may change my mind as the mood strikes, and you might be looking forward to seeing something and I wouldn't even be working on it. You know, may have told you I was going to and then change my mind. So only things that I have said I'm going to start with sales with other people and have given dates for those. I'm still going to try to do those, of course. But the rest, I'd like it to be a little more fluid. Just see. I'm going to mix up working on whips with starting new starts for Christmas so that I can have Christmas to work on all year long. I like doing that because then when Christmas arrives, I have really pretty stuff that I can enjoy for the Christmas season. Also, just wanted to let you know we had a fabulous Thanksgiving, and we've had a fabulous weekend since starting the Christmas season. My husband and I were invited Friday night by a couple that are here in our new hometown that we've met since moving here, and they asked if we would like to ride over to Dahlonega, Georgia, and for the lighting of the Christmas lights. The town square in Dahlonega actually wraps trees and buildings in white lights. Everybody uses just solid white lights, and they wrap the trunks of the trees, and then they put, you know, lights up in the branches, and then the buildings all decorate, some a little bit and some a lot. And they close off the square to cars, and you can walk all around the square and watch them turn on the lights for Christmas. And the shops stay open later till 8 o'clock. So we went to the lighting of the Dahlonega, and We actually were a little bit later getting to go than we had planned, but it worked out perfectly because although we didn't get to see them flip the switch and turn the lights on, by the time we got there, that had happened and people had started leaving and it was very crowded. So by the time we got there, there was enough space for parking and we could walk freely around the square. It wasn't so crowded. And we got to go into some shops that we hadn't seen before and just had a wonderful evening. The weather was beautiful, it was nice and warm, and it was great fun. So that was a lovely way for us to kind of start the season as well. And then today, my husband and I finished putting up our Christmas lights on the outside of the house. We haven't done that for years. And this year, my husband said we're going to do it. And he did, and it looks beautiful. He just did such a great job. And it just simple colored lights outlining the whole roof of the house all the way from one side across the front to the other, up the eaves, and just gorgeous. And I'm very, very happy that he was able to get that done today. So however you are celebrating, however you are decorating, whether it be a little bit or a lot, I hope that this is a great season for you. Well, I intend to share my Christmas stitching with you. I won't commit to filming every day. If I get to do that, that's great. But I'm not going to try to film and put it up as a video every day. I just don't have the time to do that with all of the concerts and stuff that my husband and I are involved in. But I will do it more frequently. I think last year I did once a week. So I'll try to do at least that this year so that I can wish you a Merry Christmas and you can see sort of my Christmas stitching, and maybe that would encourage you to do some. I hope you are having a wonderful transition from November to December, and whichever season you're in, whether you're in the northern hemisphere or southern hemisphere. I hope you're having good weather for your area and that you're enjoying it. Enjoy your stitching, and I'll check in with you again soon. Happy stitching.